thought we were about to pause the show because you ain't mentioned school until Friday. I'm glad they at least make you go to school on Fridays in Anderson, man.
Going to school. Yeah, I go to school. They go to school in Anderson.
No, but to all you ballers out there, now I just took you through a whole week of what Ace Alston is doing. If you guys ain't doing half that and you talk about you want to be recruited, hey, it might not be mathing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So,
welcome to Recruited, the podcast that goes behind the scenes with the top high school athletes in the country. Join us as we dive deep into the untold stories, challenges, and triumphs of these exceptional athletes being recruited by the top programs. Welcome to Recruited. On this episode, we have a very special guest, my jit, Ace Alston, one of the top cornerbacks in the country, the number one cornerback in the state of Ohio, the number 2 player in the state of Ohio, 40-plus offers, 3-year starter, Anderson High School. You dig? Ace Money. What up, baby?
What's good with you?
What's up, nephew?
What's good with you?
How you doing, man?
Good.
So, this is an episode that I've been really excited to shoot. One, because, the personal relationship that I have with you, watching you grow, from youth all the way to where you are right now. But more so because, even though despite the recruiting service bias out there, we have a tremendous player in Ohio right here, Ace Alston, representing Ohio and some of the best players in the Midwest. We have an unbelievable lockdown DB, a man with his own island over there in Anderson. All-American defensive back, Ace Alston. You know what I'm saying? Ace Money, what I like to call it. You know what I'm saying? So let's hop right into it, man. Like, take us back to, like, what are some of your entries to some of your first memories of success?
Yeah, so I'm gonna take y'all all the way back to like little league. So I was playing for a team in Kentucky called the Erling Alliance, and since I was like better than everybody in my age group, like the coaches made me play up and stuff like that. So I got my little first run ever, and I took it for like 60 yards. Then I got smacked by a big safety. But like I hopped right back up, man. I was like ready to go again. So that's like the moment I really fell in love with football. Is that moment right there. And then, I just started dominating from there.
I remember those moments, man, because that's actually when I first laid my eyes on you, met your family, and met your crazy daddy out there. He was coaching you, and you was playing quarterback, I believe. Then, Erlanger had so many kids; they had 3-4 teams for every little age group. But Ace always stood out, man. So like, what's that? Because you've always been the dude. Like, don't act like you ain't been the dude. So, like, what's that chip come from? Because I know you. And I know secretly you want people to know that you're the best hands down. You know what I mean? So, what does that come from? Where's the chip come from?
Yeah, this just come from, all the hard work I've been putting in throughout all my years. My dad pushing me, my mom pushing me, just trying to be a role model for my little brother, just working hard, and that just builds the confidence. And, as my confidence have built over these years, it's just time to show everybody, like, I'm the best.
Okay. Yes, and then speaking of that early success, I want to ask your dad, dude, what's your first memory of success for Ace?
Man, I'm just trying to get through this episode without tearing up. You know what I'm saying? But I think one stands out to me vividly.
Okay.
He was playing one of his good friends, JoJo Pouncey. We was playing
he's at Taft right now, right?
Yeah, he's at Taft High School. Shout out to Taft. He was playing at the time with the Bengals.
Yeah.
So NKY Bengals, and I was coaching them at the time, and we knew the Hawkeyes was one of the most dominant programs and been one of the most dominant programs for a very, very long time. And we had a team that, I would just say that a team of hard workers. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't say that every kid on that team was true football players, but we had a team that I was able to get to believe in the game of football, believe in work ethic, and believe to operate as a team. So we won a lot of games, but we knew going into that weekend we was going to be faced with a team that not only had more talent than us, been around for a very long time. The kids, a lot more kids that are truly football kids. So we knew we had our hands full that day. So, man, this game, this is when I really was like, man, he can be special. Jojo Pounce, his father, Alfonso, he's very passionate man as well, just like me. So he was on the sideline rooting his team on, and Ace would get the ball, like he got his first touch, and he gone, touchdown,
right.
One touch. So
right.
I hear them talking, so I run down to the end of the sideline. I'm talking, they get the ball back, they score. Ace get the ball back, touch it one time, gone, touchdown. So at this point, I'm super turned up. I'm super hyped, you know what I mean? He got 2 touches, 2 touchdowns. And so the game just kept going on. Like every time that he touched the ball, man, like everybody was on their feet. They knew he was taking it to the house. And it was just like a one-man show out there. And he was just kind of like, it was a big moment where a lot of people, a lot of eyes on you, a lot of eyes on him. And he was just, being immaculate that day, man. He was, he was really showcasing his skill set, and me and Fonzo was going back and forth. And Fonzo would always tell me, man, like when he had that ball the last play he had that ball, I would start walking to my car because I knew he was gonna punch it in. So it was just good to hear other people kind of had that same type of feeling and experience during that game, to see him play that way. And that was my first time really seeing him play on a big stage and deliver. And I always tell Ace this is that, like, I think that his God-given ability, the reason he has favor and the favor that God's given him, is that he always find a way to make the big plays in the biggest moments, and it's been that way all his life.
Always
you know what I'm saying?
gamer.
So I think that's what he's blessed with.
Okay. So all our viewers out there, you see the apple don't fall too far from the tree. You see where he get his confidence. You see where he get his personality from.
Yes,
they 2 peas in a pod. Man, I really like your personality, man. And you have such a fun personality. And that's impressive because it's a lot of pressure on you. Right. You know what I'm saying? With who you are and, the amount of people that know you. So some of the things like you have the tendency to like go viral, man. Right. You know what I mean? So this summer, man, I seen you. I said, man, what my nephew doing, man? This fool, he done got a pick, jumped on stage at OT7, and what was it you told him?
I'm the best corner in 2027.
I was like, man, so what was you thinking doing that? Did you plan that? Did you know?
So going into that day, I was like, because the day before, I was, I think, number 2 for the run-in to get MVP that weekend. And, just going into that day, like, I'm already balling, like I'm playing out of my mind, just trying to prove something, like to all these, all the haters, like to all the recruiting sites that, that have me ranked that high. You feel me? Just trying to prove something to all them, just going into that day, I was like, if I catch a pick today, if I catch a pick today, I'm gonna do something crazy. So, if you watch OT7, they had that money ball, which is one of the most important drives of the game. Yeah. And then they get it to the goal line, and then this Texas commit, I'm guarding him, and he runs a comeback in the goal line, and I'm sitting on it. Then I see the ball coming out of QB's hand. Oh, I was like, I'm finna snatch this. Man. So I snatch it, get my feet in bounds. I'm already running to the sideline, and the stage right there, I was like, oh yeah, I'm finna let them know. Man. I'm finna let them know.
So Texas on Ohio, my boy from Ohio came back on top. So we gotta stop the bias. Yes, and what'd you tell him at the stage?
I'm the best corner in 2027.
There you know what I'm saying? You heard it first.
We do have dogs in Ohio, man.
Yes,
and I think, it takes, platforms, shout out to OT7, take platforms like that to give everybody the opportunity to compete against the best of the best across the country, and give, the Ohio kids the opportunity to go up against some of these guys to show that value in the market, because we got real good dogs out here. We got hard work, blue-collar dogs out here, you know what I'm saying? We see a lot of that, on Instagram, but we can do that, but we bulldogs too.
Lock you up too.
You know what I'm saying? So, it's good to have those opportunities, and I had no idea he was gonna do that. I didn't even hear what he said, because he had going into the day. He already had a couple of picks. He was, like I said, he was balling, and when he got that, when he jumped on the stage, I was like, man, this boy is crazy. But yeah, it was a good time and a good opportunity for him to, showcase his skill set.
Awesome. Speaking of Ohio players, one of the players who I think you really model yourself after, who I see when I watch you play. I see a lot of Jermaine Matthews at Ohio State, from a technician standpoint and just from a personality standpoint.
Right.
If you ask Jermaine Matthews who the best corner ever, he gonna say Jermaine Matthews. If you say who the best corner, right now, Jermaine Matthews.
Right.
You know what I mean? Best cook in the world, Jermaine Matthews. You know what I mean? So, like what is, take us to that mindset when you playing that corner and it's just you on that island. Like, what's that mentality like?
Yeah, and to be honest with you, just when I'm on that island, I go back and I think about, like, I know how much work I put in. I know I'm outworking every player in Ohio. Like, I know I'm doing these things for when that moment comes, like, I'll be prepared. So, I just go out there and use my technique and, lock them up.
Okay. Because, preparation prevents poor performance.
It is.
Right. The 4 Ps, So one of the things me and your dad like to do, we like to, show each other clips of, of our sons and things like that. And one of the things he showed me last week, what I was really impressed with in the game versus Kings, I believe, where he showed me a clip of where your film study, you knew that quarterback wasn't going to throw all the way out to the end.
Yeah.
So, could kind of walk us through that. Do you talk about, the film preparation you guys go through and what that plays went on Friday nights?
Yeah, I think, obviously, I had the opportunity to play ball at the collegiate level. And one thing that I learned is that, film study is critical in order to be successful, because at that level, everybody's talented. Everybody has a skill set. Everybody has trainers, right? So what's going to separate you to be able to think faster, take smarter risks, is watching film. And early on, with him being a freshman, starting as a freshman, 2 years ago, people were going to be bigger than him. People were going to be faster than him, but, he was going to outwork them, not only out the field, but he's going to outwork them, in that film room, so he can be able to make up for being undersized and maybe under for be able to make up that in the game. So, man, it's critical. So in this particular game, we was watching film, and he recognized that, hey, man, listen, every time they get into the trips formation and he throw the hitch route, the quarterback like to throw it to the number 2 guy.
Right.
He likes to throw it to the number 2 guy. So that's just a part of the preparation. So when he seen that formation in the game, he see that it was a situation where they was going to throw it to sticks. He came off his guy and went to get the number 2.
Yeah.
And that's just an element of film study and preparation.
And that's what we call a calculated risk.
Yes, sir.
So you guys out here who want to be the best, you got to do what it takes to get that edge. And a lot of it ain't physical. A lot of it is mental. So doing that extra film study, talking to your coach, having that extra phone call during the week, those are the things that's gonna get you over the edge. Everybody everybody know how to backpedal. Yeah. Everybody know how to break up a pass. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yes,
but
sir.
Can you be in the right place at the right time?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Stuff like that. So and so Coach Dreyer, he's building something special over there. You know what I mean?
Nice.
So, talk about your relationship with like Coach Dreyer and how he allows you to be the best version of yourself. Because he ain't used to having athletes like you. I'm gonna tell you that right now. So, one, how does he handle having athletes like you? And then 2, how does he help you be the best version of you?
Yeah, and just playing with under Coach Dreyer, for 3 years now. He's just been teaching me a lot, and he takes it back to first thing first, like, it's all about the team. Like, you can't be selfish, you can't be thinking all about yourself, because it's all about the team. And that's how the team's going to progress. That's how the team's going to go undefeated. That's how the team's going to win state championships and stuff. Is the team and the team bonding. So, he just likes us to, just do different activities together. And for example, like, we get an off day of school on a Friday for game day. Like, he got us some breakfast, he got us golfing together, just having that team bonds. And, him as a coach, he just taught me a lot. And this year specifically, like, just taught me how to be a leader. Like, he taught me, like, I can't go to everybody the same. Like, I can't yell at everybody, because different people take it. Different people take it in different ways. Sometimes I gotta tell a safety, like, in my normal voice. Like, this is what you got to do. So you got to do it. So, you know, or sometimes I gonna have to jump on him. Like, I'm gonna have to yell at him. But, you know, he just taught me a lot. And I feel like, you know, he's just a cool guy. You know, he's a great coach. He's gonna push me. And he's just, he's a great guy.
And so I wanted to ask about that. So I wanted to ask you about leadership.
Yeah.
You know, like, you know, we've known, you know, from watching you that you've always played up. So you've never had to be the like leader out there. But now it's getting to the point, you know, you upperclassman now, you know, it's time for you to step into that role. So talk about how you've evolved from just being, you know, a talented guy to now a guy who has to lead the team.
Right. So I feel like, you know, my freshman year, you know, I'm coming in, I'm trying to earn my spot. You know, I'm trying to prove that, you know, I can play on the field with these big guys. And I feel like, you know, my sophomore year, you know, I got to, you know, live up to the hype, you know, do all these things right and things like that. So I feel like this junior year, you know, I've taken more of a leadership role. And, you know, just telling everybody, because I know a lot of people look up to me. So, you know, I can't like do things wrong. Like, I got to go to practice, you know, on time. I got to go to practice, you know, working hard every day. And I got to show them, like, this is the work you need to put in to get to a level where you want to be. So, you know, going into this year, you know, I'm just trying to be a better leader on and off the field. So, yeah.
Absolutely, man. Because most great teams are going to take the lead of their best players and their head coach. So I'm glad that you're taking that, because I know, you know, the kind of kids you are. If these kids are following you, then they're going in the right footsteps. Right. You know what I mean? So, and man, so one of the things about being a great corner, man, is it's lonely on that island. You know, it's lonely. It get boring. You know, even when coaches come watch you play, they, you know, they like, you know, what am I looking at? You know what I mean? You know, so my question is, can we see you on offense this year?
Yeah. So, you know, going back to like the lonely part, like the most important thing, like I know, like a lot of people is gonna see my Instagram. I know a lot of people is gonna see the offers that I have, so that might tend teams to, you know, go away from me. So that takes it back to like the film study. Like, I might have that one pass that comes my way that game, and I have to be ready for it, and that would probably be the only pass I get. You know, so, you know, go back to film study, going, you know, watching film all week, preparing for that stuff and things like that. So, you know, will you see me on offense this year? Me and my
Dryer, what up?
Dryer, what up? You know, just
I'm gonna ask it for you, man. So you ain't gotta ask you.
We've been talking about it for sure. We've been talking about it. You know, he doesn't want to show too much early in the season, but, you know, we've been talking about a couple packages, you know, putting me in there. So be on the lookout for that for sure.
So, indeed, you and Ashley, how do you keep them motivated, like during the week? You know what I mean? Because you know when Friday comes, it's gonna be a lot of hype.
Yeah.
And then when you get to the game, he ain't gonna get a lot of action. You know what I mean? So how do you and Ashley, you know, keep him kind of motivated throughout the week to still perform at your highest level, even though, you know, the ball might not come your way?
Yeah, I think we have you know, a very strenuous schedule for Ace. He can talk a little bit more in detail about that. But first and foremost, I think, you know, he has a schedule that is consistent no matter what. Whether he get 10 balls, 5 balls, 1 ball, no ball, pause.
Pause.
He's gonna go through his, you know, his schedule, because we believe that's designed and built in order for him to be the best version of himself. And be ready at all the times. I think, you know, the other way that we kind of, you know, motivate him is also knowing that you do have, you know, almost every college coach in the country that's going to be looking at your film. So it's not just about, you know, you being able to cover. It's about, you know, your leadership, your body language, you know what I'm saying, how you communicate with your team, celebrating with your team, you know, being a threat in other ways, you know, other ways of the game, making sure that you're utilizing the right technique, funneling things where it needs to be funneled. There's a lot of other elements in the game that I feel like we encourage him to show, because he knows, like, on that Saturday, that Sunday, he's already getting text messages from coaches. Hey, I watched the game. You did this, you did that. So I think that's another thing that kind of motivates him, knowing that it don't matter if nobody throws you away. Your film is going to be evaluated, and people have an expectation when they see a 4-star athlete what it should look like.
Absolutely. And to all the elite players out there, whether you're a defensive end, linebacker, corner, they all going to go the opposite way. Yeah. But just know that your successes individually are going to rub off on your teammates. Right. All the coaches that's coming to watch you play, they might watch that other corner over there. Right. You know what I mean? Like, man, who that kid over there? You know what I mean? So and encourage your teammates throughout the week, because them balls that ain't being thrown to you is going to them.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So making sure they're ready.
Don't get it wrong. Listen, as a family, we have to learn, to be able to understand this new dynamic as well, right? Yeah. So we used to go into the game, hey, seeing defense, right, yelling, AZ doing this, doing that, and making all these plays across the field. So we had to, make the adjustment mentally to understand this is what it looks like when you have a corner like that. And so as a family, we all had to kind of get accustomed to this new experience. But yeah, to your point, yes, it's about how do you elevate your teammates? They're getting opportunities. How do you encourage them to capitalize on those opportunities and just stay ready.
Okay, so one of the trainers around here, Jordan Nevels, he trains some of the elite athletes around here, including you, my son, and some other elite guys around here. He posted something maybe 2 weeks ago, and I sent it to your dad as soon as I seen it. He posted a picture of you in there training on maybe a Wednesday, Thursday night, and he's like, he's sending a message to all of his followers like, Ace Alston is in here 3 times a week grinding like he ain't got no offers and got over 40 offers. Yes, you know what I mean? So, for one, shout out some of your trainers, and two, how do you carry that success of having 40, 50, you know what I mean? You would have 50 if some of the small schools wanted to get at you. But, every school across the country wants you. So, talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, so, first of all, I want to just say that I'm blessed to get, all the attention I'm getting from all the coaches, all the offers that I have, it's truly the man above that is doing all that. So, I just want to take you back to, like, all the work that I put in, like, just like the grind, like I got a schedule, I stick to the schedule, and I grind every week. When I get into the gym, like it's lock-in mode, like I'm grinding, like there's no games, like I'm doing that work. And then, just a couple of trainers that, helped me along with this success, like obviously you already know, Jordan Nevels, he, in my opinion, he got the best gym in the world. Right. He got all the things you need, and he gonna get you right for sure. So, shout out Jordan Nevels. And then a couple of my DB trainers that I want to shout out is Altrell Hawkins, former NFL player. I think he coaches up in Middletown, a corners coach. But, he taught me a lot of, pro level techniques that I use in the game. And, it's been helpful, locking down the receivers. And I want to shout out another DB trainer, Coach Nat, DB trainer out of Louisiana. He trained with not only DBs, but he trained with receivers too, like Jamar Chase, Tyreek Hill, and the DB Tyron Matthew. Just learning things from those top corner DBs, and just learning and putting it all in my bag has been real helpful going along in this journey. This has been helpful.
Absolutely, man. So you guys see, man, this ain't yesterday's work. Like you heard that a million times on this show. This is not yesterday's work. And you and your dad, speak a lot about the schedule. Right. So give us some insight on that. Start with Sunday, because I know you're a man of God. You get, I know your family goes to church on Sundays, and then take us through that week, Monday through Thursday, and then how you lock in on Fridays.
Yeah. So, like you said, on Sunday, we, wake up. I think our church session starts at 10:30, at Christ Emmanuel. If you're looking for a new church home, I definitely recommend that one, Christ Emmanuel. I feel like I learned a lot from her. They got a great pastor, that speaks to us, and we learn from him every Sunday. So, if we're not able to make it to the church home, they got an online service you can watch too. So, shout out to Christ Emmanuel. So when we get done with that, we might get some food, something like that, and then bring it back to the crib. Sunday football is so we got NFL on. We watching NFL and stuff like that, but definitely around like the probably 7 p.m. range, something like that. We turn on the film and then we start watching the game. So Sundays we watch probably like the first down and the second downs, depending on how much pass plays they got going on. And then Monday, I go to Jordan Neville's. I go to Neville's training on Monday, and then we go through the third downs and fourth downs, pass plays, and then Tuesdays I go to Neville's again. You go to Neville's again, and I'm not throwing it. I'm throwing this in there. Every Monday through Thursday, we practice early in the morning as a team. We got to wake up at 5 o'clock, be there at 5:53. I know y'all thinking like 5:53 an awkward time. Like y'all thinking like why 5:53? So we usually go at 6 o'clock. Last year, that's how we did. We got to be there by like 5:45. Practice start at 6 o'clock, get ready. But since we lost by 7 in the state championship, like he wanted it to be 5:53. So I feel like that's real cool. So back on the topic, like Tuesday, I'm at Neville's, and then I got more film study. We watching the game, watching like different things we can point out. Like we're not just watching film to just watch it. We watching film to like see different like techniques, different like things that they do that we can take that calculated risk in the game. And it ended up working like 90% of the time. So Wednesday I got stretching and a massage. So I got a massage lady coming in. Shout out
to the crib.
To the crib. Shout out Miss Adrienne. She be getting me right. So that's what I got on Wednesday, and then Thursday. After school, we got team meals, and then I hit up the cryotherapy. So I get in the cryo chamber, and then the Normatec boots. They be getting me right, getting my legs refreshed and stuff for the game. And then Friday, like go to school.
Thursday night to the field.
Thursday night. We go through play recognition on the field. Go through like different plays that they run, and different things that they do in the game, so we can be ready for it all. And then Friday, go to school. And after school, I like to go to different things, like just like all the stuff that Coach Jar just implements us. Like he likes to make us like a better person, like a better man, getting us ready for like the real world, and just giving back to like the Anderson youth, because they know a lot of people look up to us. So after school, he recommends us to, go to like the elementary schools, go play with them for like 10 minutes at the recess and stuff like that. So, I go to like different elementary schools, go play with the kids, just for like 10 minutes and things like that. Just show them love. Because I know all the kids, look up to the older high school players and things like that. So, I just go show them love. And after that, I have to have my Chipotle. I have to have my Chipotle before the game. I get a bowl, extra chicken, white rice. A little like tomatoes, corn, extra cheese. I can't go too much on the dairy, so I don't be getting sour cream on Fridays. But I get that. I go home. Depending on if it's an away game or home game, I go home. I eat. I visualize. I already have my clothes set out the night before, so I already got my drip ready and things like that. I visualize, just me making plays. So that's like my quiet time for about an hour, and then when I get to the school, like it's lock-in time. Okay, it's ready to go.
That's a hell. I thought we were about to pause the show because you ain't mentioned school until Friday. I'm glad they at least make you go to school on Fridays in Anderson, man.
Going to school. Yeah, I go to school. They go to school in Anderson.
Yes, sir. But to all you ballers out there, now I just took you through a whole week of what Ace Alston is doing. If you guys ain't doing half that, and you talk about you want to be recruited, hey, it might not be mathing. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So, and that's what we like to do here on this show, man. Give you the insights of what it takes and what to expect, on this kind of journey.
Yeah, it's critical, man. And I'm just chiming in a little bit. Just, when you're competing, you're not just competing against the kids that you're playing, in your local conference or whatever it may be. These recruits they're going across the country to find the talent. So you got to find ways to overwork and find ways to get the edge. And it starts with having a schedule. My mother used to call me Joe Jackson. She still do call me Joe Jackson, but now she's more receptive to the behavior because she know that the success that he's having. Now she posting on Facebook and stuff. My grandbaby. But I used to be Joe Jackson. Let that boy rest a little time. He don't got to train on his birthday.
I'll let him now. Now he look the other way.
Yes, he do. Yes, he do. We got to get that work in. So, but now she kind of sees the benefit of that, and she's even bought into it because it is challenging. It's challenging for a father to always have to be that disciplinary person. And shout out to the two family homes, and shout out to the single family homes, because both have their challenges. I will say, the two family homes, when the father can be that disciplinary, then the mother can come behind them. Yeah. And kind of give them that balance, but there's a lot of it's okay.
Bring them a Chipotle,
your daddy crazy, and he love you for sure. And then the single mother homes, there's mothers out there that's doing both. They're having to be that disciplinary person, and also having to be that person where they can lean on the shoulder and have those intimate conversations. That's what my mother done for me. She was my mother was a single mother. So that's, for me as a father, the way I train Ace, the way I handle Ace, is due to me not having a father, and the things that I feel like he needs to know and learn in order to be, not just a great athlete, but a great man. And then there's fathers out there that's doing it themselves too as well. So shout out to them as well, who's trying to be the disciplinary, and instead also have those intimate conversations like, hey, I got to be tough on you because I need to raise a man, but at the same time I need you to also be able to express your emotions. I need you to be able to have an outlet and be comfortable telling me things that you would normally tell your mother. So it's challenges all the way around, and shout out to everybody who's doing it and doing it the right way. Everybody has a purpose. So yeah, shout out to them.
Absolutely. Shout out to them. Yes, earlier in the conversation, I heard you talk about during your time at Anderson expecting state championships. Yes, sir. You know what I mean? So talk about some of your personal goals you got for yourself for this year and leading into next year, and then as a team. Talk about some of those goals.
Yeah, so I'm gonna start off with the team. The ultimate goal for the team, is obviously win a state championship. Last year we was so close. We was at the state championship. We lost by 7. So we got a week off, and then we was back into the weight room at 6:15 in the morning. So he just let us rest for that week, and then back in the back of our mind, we lost the state championship, so we trying to get back to it. So we working every workout, every practice, every film study. We got that back of our head. We got to destroy everything this season and make it back to the state championship and win it all this time. Because we don't want to feel like how we felt after the state championship. Because I know I don't want to feel how we felt after the state championship. So we thinking about that every workout. Everything we do, we taking that into account, and we trying to get back to the state championship as a team. you know. But a couple of personal goals that I have, you know, I'm ultimately trying to be the number one corner in the country, you know. So I still got work to do. Like, you know, I'm still trying to prove, like, to these ranking sites, like, that I'm really that boy. Like, I'm really him. Like, so, you know, I'm still, you know, grinding. Like Neville said, I'm still grinding. Like, I don't have any offers. You know, I'm trying to work every day, you know, to try to get to that number one spot, because I know I should be there. And you know, just other things that I have, you know, throughout my whole career. I want to end up with 15 interceptions. So I know I gotta, you know, film study even harder. Like, I know I'm only getting, it's like a couple opportunities to, you know, get that interception. So, you know, I gotta work even harder. And then I want to be a Max Preps All-American. And then, you know, I hit a couple goals on my wall. So I have all my goals on the wall, you know, with my dream car on there too. So, you know, I got that hung up. And,
What is
you know,
your dream
What's the
car?
goal? Right, don't leave us hanging.
You drive a Benz. So what is your dream car?
Yeah. You know, I'm blessed that I drive a Benz right now, and I'm blessed and I'm thankful that my parents are hardworking enough to, you know, put me in that opportunity to give me that type of car. But
And he got it in fashion, y'all. He got it at his birthday, y'all.
Yeah. My dream car, you know, I wanna get like a all decked out, like, custom track hawk. Like, that's my dream car. Like, that's what I want to be, you know, rocking in college and maybe the NFL. But, you know, that's what I want to get.
I love it, man. Well, I'm definitely here to support all your team and individual goals, man.
Yes,
so
sir.
let's talk about some recruiting a little bit.
Yes,
You know
sir.
what I mean?
Let's do it.
Let's talk about, you know, where you are in the process right now. You know, I've seen you take a couple visits lately to Ohio State, Missouri, Notre Dame, USC. You know, what are those visits been like, and where you at in that process? But first, before I say that, to all you colleges out there recruiting, Ace, you better be consistent, because his mama keeping a spreadsheet of all y'all that call every single day. So at the end of the night, she get Ace's phone and she log what coaches is calling, what coaches is texting. So if you ain't been hitting up, you better catch up, because the mama keeping track.
I mean,
she keeping receipts.
What type of coach calling?
Yeah,
You know, so when they call, is it a text or is it a phone call?
Talk about that.
You know?
How important is that to you guys? Like the engagement.
I think is you know, for us, you know, we may overanalyze as a family, but we, you know, you know, my thought process is we're handing our kid off.
That's what I was gonna say. You're not making a mistake. You're handing your kid off to somebody
that we are trusting by a few interactions. Right? We've had our kid his entire life. We've, you know, made sure that we've done things to try to put him in the best situation possible to be successful. And then all of a sudden, at the age of 18, we have to hand this person over to another person that we was not raised with, that doesn't come from the same backgrounds as us, that we don't really, you know, we don't know like that.
Yeah.
Right? So we have to try to make the best educated guess possible, utilizing as much information as we were able to gather possible, or who's going to take care of our kid and have his back as much as I would take care of him and have his back. So yes, you know, we're tracking, we're notating, we're analyzing every situation, every contact, so we can have enough information to make a good decision, a comfortable decision. I want to just be comfortable when I drop him off. I want to be comfortable that he's going to continue to follow the directions that I instilled in him, and he's going to be led by someone God-fearing that has the same values and is going to continue that level of consistency that we instilled from him from the get-go.
Absolutely, and I commend you for that, because it can't be just about the facilities, you know, what the campus is like, you know, what kind of NIL they talking, you know, everything got to check. You know, when you dropping your kid off, I gotta know that, yeah, man, if he want to come eat Christmas dinner with you, that's where he can be at.
He's gonna be
you
welcome.
Know what I mean? Yeah,
and that's a good point. I think, you know, everyone got to understand, you know, there's a lot to look at when you go in these college visits. There's a lot of things to intake. So, taking notes and getting data, that's the only way you're going to be able to, digest the information and be able to dissect it and make it make rational sense, because everyone's going to have great facilities. Mm-hmm. Everyone, got nice, dope uniforms. Everyone gonna say that they have a high graduation rate. Mm-hmm. All these things that you're gonna, those are like blanket statements, right? We have to get an opportunity to try to learn and know that individual, the man that's gonna be responsible for our son. So when you're making that priority list, you have to be very strategic on how you're doing it and make sure it has a right priority. Like NIL and money is one thing, right? Like, but that's real life, right? Like you can go make some money doing some wrong things and put yourself at risk, right? In real life. So like all money is not good money. Yeah, so that's a part of the equation, but it's not the entirety of the equation. There's a lot of things that comes before that. For me, it's a great man, safety, great man, a good culture, where I know that he can do the things that we've already planted in him. Let him blossom in that environment. You know what I'm saying? Okay. If you put him around, weeds, that some of those things that seed that we put in him could be distorted.
Absolutely. And that's right, man. So all money ain't good money, Ace. So if you ever got some money you ain't comfortable about, give it to your Uncle Greg, and I'm gonna hold on to it for you. All right? Hold on to it for you. But back to you, man. Back to some of these visits you're taking. Like I said, you just visited. I think you're coming off Ohio State, Missouri, Notre Dame. You just came back from USC on Friday, Saturday, or Sunday, whenever it was. So talk about some of that and where you are in the process.
Yeah. So. Like I said earlier, like it wouldn't happen without God. Mm-hmm. So, I just give my thanks to him every day, and give my blessings to him, because it wouldn't be, possible without him. And I'm in the process, just, evaluating every school that I'm going to. Like, I'm taking like account into like how they treat me when I go up there, and I'm comparing them to the other schools. So, I'm evaluating every school, and I feel like these game days are important because I want to, get used to this atmosphere. I want to see if I can visualize myself playing there. I got to get used to the culture, and most importantly, the brotherhood. Like, I got to see how the locker room is. I got to see how these players treating each other, because eventually, like, I'm gonna be part of that family. So, I'm taking all that into account into when I go to these different schools and things like that. And that's where I'm at in this process, just evaluating all the schools.
Yeah, so and I want to touch base on that too, like around like how do you understand that they have a good culture? How do you know that they got a brotherhood, right? So like every visit has a purpose. Mm-hmm. All right, how do you know how good the coaches are, how they interact with their players? Because everything is smooth until you face some adversity, right? And then when you can see how coaches coach in a level of adversity, high intense situation, you see how the players interact with each other when they're down or then in high intense situation, that gives you better insight of what that locker room is like, what the culture is like within the team, how that coach is able to, take in an experience and then be able to manage change, throughout a game. Right. I think, being able to see it at a game level experience, like we're not there for the popcorn and just, you know what I'm saying? Right. We're here to really be indulge in the experience and see, do we visualize him and can he visualize himself being a part of that experience?
Right. Absolutely. So on this journey, man, take those mental notes. When you on these visits, feel that energy. Yeah. Because, a school might say you a priority, but when you get there, you might see them spending a little more time with the kid over there, or the kid from over there. Right. So feel that, that energy. You know what I mean? Because you, in this day and age, you got to feel like a priority. Yes, sir. To these schools. So just make sure that they locking in with you, and don't be a fan, so much of a fan of a school that it blinds you from making the right decision. Right, sir. You know what I'm saying? So
okay, let's talk about that a little bit. Then I'm gonna ask you a question. You've been doing a lot of talking. Okay. So can you elaborate, like, when you say don't be, so much of a fan, like, can you explain to the viewers, like, What do you mean?
Yeah, I
by
mean,
that?
you know, every kid has a home state. You know, let's just say every kid has a home state. You know, a kid that grows up in Texas, 90% of the time, he want to go to Texas. You know, the kid go up in Florida, he might want to go to Miami, Florida, or Florida State, something like that. You know, but you know, in your journey, like for one, you're going to see where your legit level of recruitment is, and two, you gotta know when you're making a decision, when you do have hats on the table and you ready to decide for a school, you gotta know, does that school love you as much as you love them?
Right.
Because if you calling them and they ain't calling you and they just taking your offer just because it's something to do, just because they need some numbers to fill, then that might not be the best place for you.
Yep.
You know, but if you got a school that's standing on the table for you and they might be from a rival state or from a rival school in the conference that you want to go play in, you know, that might just be a better opportunity for you, because at the end of the day, ball is ball.
Yeah.
You know, at the level, you know, Cam's getting recruited, the level you getting recruited, you know, you guys are going to all have the same football experience. You know, but you got to go to where you feel the love, man, because you know, because at that level, they recruiting you back up. So you know they might love you today, but as soon as you get there, you know they call on that 28.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? So just just make sure that so that's what I mean by that. You know, not to the point where you don't gotta disown nobody or nothing, but you gotta understand that might just not be the fit for you at that time.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know
absolutely.
what I mean?
And I just wanted you to express that so everyone can understand that, and that's fair and that's facts.
Yeah.
Your player is not going to be for every school, and every school is not going to be for your player.
Absolutely.
So it's about finding that perfect marriage. You know what I'm saying? That win-win situation when they feel like they winning because they getting you and they getting that phone call for you, and you feel like you winning when you getting that phone call for them. That's when that relationship becomes mutual beneficial, and that's what we're looking for, and that's what we're encouraging him to seek out.
Absolutely. Make sure they standing on the table for you, man. And again, to all the coaches out there recruiting, if you're not being consistent, your hat ain't gonna be on the table. So make sure you hitting this man up. Yes, all right. So this journey that you on, man, is not done alone.
Right.
So we know you have a strong father figure, very supportive mother. Talk about some people that we may not know about that really support you through this journey.
Yeah. So, just like you said, like I got a very great support system behind me, about my pops, that push me every day, stays on me with the sports and things like that, make sure I'm doing good. And then my mom's, also pushes me, make sure my grades straight,
Let's talk about them grades real good. What the report card look like right now?
I got all A's.
You
so
dig what I'm
far,
talking about?
All A's.
All A's.
I got all A's right now,
Student athlete.
Yeah, student first. So, if you want to get into the best schools, you got to be a student first. You want to get into any school you want, you got to have a grade. So
I know you. First. So you got over 40 offers.
Yeah.
So is there a school because of your academics that you got that you like, man, I just got into such and such because my academics.
Just like really, to be honest, Notre Dame, that's
tough.
That's a real tough school to get in if you just a normal student. Like that's a real tough school to get in. So I was just real blessed when I received that offer. And it meant a lot.
Okay.
Yeah. So
my bad. I ain't mean to get y'all talking about it.
It's all good. But just like my little brother, like just seeing him look up to me, it just motivates me even more. Just to work hard every day, and just try to be a great role model for him. Because one day I'm gonna want him to see him succeed.
Do you tell him that? Because I don't. That ain't the energy I see around the house.
I know. Yeah. How does that dynamic work? Because every time I see y'all just fighting with each other.
No. When he have his good games, I can't let him know that. Like I gotta make sure he stay humble, and make sure he keep doing good. I don't want none of the hype and stuff to get to his head, because it can be a lot, when you have your great games, a lot of people come out to you. So I might be like, maybe he had the best game of his life. Like I'd be like, yeah, you played all right. But yeah.
Because he enjoys these journeys, man. He get to go first class everywhere. You know what I mean?
And I'm blessed. I get to take him with me. Just to make sure he experienced this at a young age too. So I just want to shout out to my little bro.
Okay, that's what's up. That's what's up. What he playing right now? Football,
Yeah,
basketball?
he playing football and basketball. In football, he playing QB and corner too. So,
Okay.
you know, I got to teach him little techniques. So we be making him watch film too.
Okay.
Maybe sometimes he don't be paying attention, but we try to get him on like a little workout schedule too. So
Yeah. Class of what?
2030, yeah.
2030. Be on the lookout.
Yeah,
He's coming
For
up
the next
2030.
Alston coming
Yes,
down
for sure.
And so talk a little bit about some players that you kind of model your game after. I spoke about earlier about Jermaine Matthews. That's kind of who I see you, like the way you move, the way you act, the way you talk.
Yeah.
Who are some other players that you kind of model your game after?
Yeah, so like you were saying, like Jermaine Matthews, like it was I can remember like in my freshman year in high school, Coach Jar, he sent me a message and he sent me Jermaine, and I was like who is this? He was like watch his huddle. He was like, you gonna be better than him one day, and he was like, you just gotta work for it. And I started watching his film, watching his huddle, and then I was just seeing like, well, he really liked that. like he really liked that. Like, I got a lot of work to do, and he was like, just keep working, and one day you'll get to the position he's at right now. So, I got in contact, with May, and our relationship been tight ever since. So every time I go up to O State, we had great conversations, and things like that. So that's one player, I look up to for sure, being in his time, being the best in Cincinnati, in my time, being the best DB in Cincinnati too. So who else? I'd say Pat Surtain, Sauce Gardner, and Pat Surtain, Sauce Gardner, and let's see. Pastor Tan, Sauce Gardner, that's who I watched because Sauce Gardner, he got the length, like he got long arms. I feel like I got long arms too, so he can quick jam you at the line, and he's very technical sound. So is Pat. Like I feel like Pat is like the best corner in the league right now. Just seeing his discipline, being able to run with every receiver, just being like technically sound. And then Jalen Ramsey too.
Okay.
Jalen Ramsey, just the way the Steelers like utilize him. Like I feel like, when he was with the Jaguars, like obviously he was a dog, like coming up, and I feel like he had something to prove, like showing that he the best corner in the league. And then, when he went to the Rams, I feel like, they still had him at that corner position. He was still being a dog, making plays. But now that he went to Miami, they started to move him around a little bit. And then the Steelers, like, I feel like he playing everywhere. They got him in a nickel, corner, safety. Like, just seeing, like, his versatility and then the way he come up to hit. Like, I love, like, watching his game because, I want to model my game after that, just the way he comes up and hit, the way he's always in the plays, and just being technically sound too. So, and then I want to shout out to, a lot of people might hate on him, but I feel like the one season he was getting all the picks, Trayvon Diggs, like
because I was ready to pull the cap. I was ready to pull the cap card. Because I know in our little preview episode that we had with him some time back. You know what I'm saying? He was one of the players that he mentioned. Dallas ain't doing too hot right now, so I was ready to pull the cap card. If you did not mention him,
I was definitely I'm never gonna forget about my boy Trayvon Diggs. Like, he a risk taker. Like that's what he do, and that comes with film study. That comes with I wouldn't say he's playing at his best right now, but I feel like Trayvon Diggs, like he's one of them ones when it comes to being smart, being in the film study. Like that year, he did get all those picks. Like that wasn't just because he just went out there and played like just with his technique. Like that was because he studying film. Like he could break it down and he knows what's gonna happen before it happens. So seeing that as a Cowboys fan, like of course I'm gonna like that. So shout out to Trayvon Diggs. Shout out to Trayvon Diggs.
And I see some scrapes on your knees. I know you ain't out there tackling nobody.
Man,
you out there tackling, man. You out there tackling.
Of course I'm out there tackling.
That's what's up, man. Yeah, tell him, man. You getting an all around.
Yeah,
corner,
I'm trying to. Yeah, you getting an all around corner for sure.
So I want to play a little game with you, man. I want to play a little game with you.
Let's do it.
We gonna call it cap or fact. Cap or fact. I got 4 burning questions for you.
Okay.
And I want you to just say cap or fact.
Okay.
All right.
I got you.
So here we go. You the best corner in the country.
Fact.
Yeah. Hardest worker in your class.
Fact.
Anderson Raptors will win a state championship.
Facts.
Okay.
And in 4 years, we will hear your name called at the NFL draft.
Facts.
All facts. So ain't no capping there?
Ain't no capping.
Ain't no capping
in my rapper.
That's what I'm talking about. So to everybody that's watching, drop all your socials for everybody.
Yeah, so you can follow me on Instagram at acemoney_6, and then the same thing on Twitter, acemoney_6. So go hit that follow button. I'm almost at 13K on Instagram, so go hit that up.
It is.
You got anything you want to add, Dick?
Nah, man, it was good to sit back and just kind of take the backseat ride and hear you guys go at it a little bit doing this interview. I would just say, for anyone who's listening, as from a fan standpoint or a younger athlete standpoint, and even the parents, just have a strategy. When you think about all the kids who were great in something, the support system that they had behind them, right, all had a plan, right? They had a plan and they stuck to that plan. So just, early on, you've mentioned it early in the show, this is not like yesterday's work. This is a way of life. And it starts as soon when, you feel like the kid is ready to be able to, take on the burden, because it is a burden of trying to be an elite athlete, but it takes a tremendous amount of investment in your time, investment in your money, and investment in your emotion, and it's going to stress out that bun, but it's all worth it in the end, because the best thing that a parent can get, and I sit over here and I fought tears this whole episode, just trying to sit back and be quiet to hear him say some of the things that he say. But the best thing that you can give for your kid is opportunity, right? Opportunity to be great at something. Give them opportunity to be great at something, and that comes with hard work. It comes with paying attention to details. It comes with having a strong circle and support system. So very thankful for this episode. You guys did a phenomenal job. It was real good to kind of sit back and kick it and hear you guys talk. And Ace, you did a phenomenal job just, regurgitating some of the things that, we've taught you, that this kind of episode kind of helped me understand that you are retaining, some of the information that we're giving you, because, within a year and a few months, you will be leaving the house. And that's going to be a tough, you feel me? So that's going to be tough for the mom. That's going to be tough for me. And you about to go through that experience. And the only thing that we can do is trust that the consistency that we put in is something that's going to last a lifetime. When they get faced with adversity and faced with tough decisions, we're praying and we hope that the things that we've taught them is going to steer them to make the right decision and go the right direction. So good stuff. Real good stuff.
Yeah, man, you have a strong support system around you, so I know you're going to be successful. I ain't got no worries about that. But to everybody out here, man, if you guys want to reach out to the show with burning questions, if you want to be a sponsor of the show,
hit us up.
If you're an elite athlete and you want to expand, on you guys' brand,
hit us up.
Hit us up on the DM. You know what I'm saying? D, where we located at on IG?
With the Recruited Podcast. So hit us up, Recruited Podcast. We're on IG. We're on X.
And we on X at Recruited on X.
You can hit me up personally on my line, Digital D. You can hit Cam Dad. Hey, however you need to get to us. We'd love to be a part of your experience. We'd love to chop it up with you and learn more about your experience. And then, yes, if you're a sponsor looking to spend some money, we taking our donations past the collection plate. You feel?
Yes, sir. I enjoyed it.
I appreciate y'all, boys.
Good job.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
All right, baby, that's a wrap. You have been recruited.